Hello everyone. In this particular presentation, I will be concentrating on the adder enhancement technique. So I have named it as part 1, wherein I will be discussing only two distinct type of adder enhancement techniques carry select adder as well as ripple carry adder. And there are further two more enhancement techniques which we are going to make use in case of adders, which are called as carry skip adder and carry look ahead adder, which I will be discussing it in the part 2. Let us mainly concentrate upon different types of adder enhancement techniques, which is categorized in terms of ripple carry adder, carry select adder, carry skip adder, and carry look ahead adder. So in this presentation, I will be focusing upon the first two types, wherein we will be seeing how to design a ripple carry adder circuit as well as carry select adder, and what is individual advantage as well as drawback of each and every type of adder circuits. So this is a ripple carry adder. So I had discussed how to implement an adder element and how to use that particular adder element in the implementation of arithmetic and logic operations to be performed in VLSI systems, wherein I had discussed in my previous presentation for a 4-bit design. So same 4-bit design if I consider. So here you can see the operands applied in terms of input A as well as input B. So since I have used the design for 4-bit, it is A0, A1, A2, A3, that is 4-bit A operand, B0, B1, B2, B3, which is nothing but a 4-bit B operand. So 4-bit operation means 4 adder cells I require. So each adder is performing a single bit adder operation where it is, whereas it is accepting the inputs in terms of AB and the carry input, that is from the previous stage, and it is going to give me the two outputs from a single bit adder, that is sum as well as carry output. So for the first bit it is S0 C0, second bit it is S1 C1, and third bit it is S2 C2, and for final, that is the fourth bit, it is giving me the output of sum as S3 and carry output as C3. So this is the normal adder circuit which we have used in our design as well as implementation of an ALU. So this particular type of adder circuit design, we call it as a ripple carry adder. So what happens in this particular type of adder circuit or adder element is, this is going to perform an operation, that is, it is going to yield an output in terms of sum S0 as well as carry output C0 only when it is having an input in terms of C, whether it is equal to logical 0 state or logical 1 state. Irrespective of this, it has to contain all these three distinct inputs in order to give me the output in terms of sum as well as carry output. So then only the first stage output will be obtained. Unless and until there is a carry output generated from the previous stage, that is this particular first bit output, I cannot expect the exact output appearing towards the carry output C1, which is in turn behaving like an input for this third stage of a single bit adder cell. Once again, it is yielding the sum output S2 and carry output C2, which is behaving like a input for your single bit adder cell along with the operand A as well as B, that is A3 as well as B3. Or in other terms, in order to get the output of C3, all these outputs must be obtained. So unless and until these outputs are obtained properly, I cannot expect the output C3 to be obtained from a carry ripple adder cell. So assume that there is 4 bit. So in this anyways, I have designed it for a 4-bit ripple carry adder cell, wherein I have a 4 distinct bit of an adder cell. So 1 bit adder we are going to use for each and every individual operations to be giving me the output as sum as well as carry output, wherein it is going to wait for certain duration of time. So this waiting for a certain interval or a duration of time, we call it as a propagation delay. So the propagation delay which is caused due to the ripple carry adder element or cell, it will be more because it has to wait till n-1 operation has been performed and the outputs for the particular bit carry output has been generated, as that particular carry output will be behaving as an input for the next stage of a single bit adder cell. So now if I consider each and every individual 1-bit adder cell is having a delay, that is an adder delay is around k1 seconds. So if there are n number of bits, so in general if there are n number of bits, n into k1 times, it has to wait, and that will be the total computation time required to perform the operation of a ripple carry adder. So from this I can have a conclusion that whenever I am making use of a ripple carry adder cell, each and every individual adder cell is going to perform its operation, or in other terms I can tell that it is going to yield the output in terms of sum as well as carry output only when the previous carry output is generated. So as the number of bits goes on increasing in a ripple carry adder cell, the computation times becomes more and more complex, which in terms of complexity is also more, which in terms of delay is also very high. So I cannot use this particular type of adder element whenever I am concentrating upon a higher bit element design. So this is regarding the ripple carry adder operation. So let me tell you one thing, that the main drawback which you are going to face over here is in terms of propagation delay. So propagation delay will be high over here. So propagation delay is increased in this particular case. So let me next concentrate upon the advantages or the procedure what we are going to follow for carry select adder element. So this is the general structure. So this is just for your remembrance. You need not draw this particular diagram in exam. So whenever I tell you to design a particular bit element in terms of a carry select adder, so you are supposed to remember these three terms, M, P as well as N. So they may ask you the same question, which I have considered some 2 to 3 examples in this, or you may be asked to design some other bits. So you have to be prepared for any number of bits asked in exam to design. So before going with the design part, you have to concentrate upon these three terms, as I have already told, that is M, P and N. M stands for the number of blocks, P stands for the number of cells, and N for the number of bits. So in exam, any two of the parameters will be given and one parameter will be unknown. So you can calculate the unknown parameter by making use of this particular expression, that is P is equal to N divided by M. So what are these M, N and P in this particular structure? So as I told you, this structure is just for your remembrance how the structure of a carry select adder will look like. So if you see the outer box which I have drawn here, that is this particular rectangular block, it is nothing but comprising of your entire carry select adder structure, whether it is for 100 bits, whether it is for 2 bit or 3 bit, 4 bit. So entire structure will be inside this particular block. If you see, I have designated the blocks 1, 2, 3, etc. till block M. It is nothing but M, which represents the number of blocks. Inside the block, I have named it as cell 1, cell 2, cell P, which are nothing but P in terms of number of cells. So if you remember this particular structure, you can draw or you can design for any number of bits, provided you know the equation P is equal to N divided by M. Suppose in exam, if they have mentioned you the number of bits as well as the number of blocks required for a particular carry select adder, and you are supposed to design that particular number of bit element, then you are supposed to calculate the number of cells first. Or if the number of cells is known and number of bits is known, you are going to calculate what is the number of blocks, or any other way, whichever the parameter is given, according to that you are going to calculate the unknown parameter. So you will be obtaining all these parameters M, P and N, then you can design this particular structure. So now how to design this structure? So as I already told, M may be the distinct number of blocks, which will be like this. Inside the blocks you are going to place the number of cells. So now suppose you have M number of blocks. So block 1 till block M. So I will let you know how to calculate this number of cells and all. So with reference to a particular example which I will be discussing it in the few further slides, you will be very much clear about it. Before going to that concept, let me briefly explain you how the block will look like, how the cell will look like, and how you are going to draw the structure inside each and every individual block or cell. So now if you see the number of blocks over here, it is m, because etc till m I have taken into consideration. Always remember that whatever may be the number of block, the first block which is present towards the rightmost side of your structure of a carry select adder, it will be reserved for ripple carry adder block. Ripple carry adder block is what I have explained in my previous slide, wherein it will be accepting the inputs in terms of operand A and operand B along with the carry input, and it will be generating the sum output as well as the carry output. The structure what you are going to draw inside this, whatever may be the number of cells. So number of cells you are going to calculate by using this particular expression. Say if the number of blocks is given as 2 and the number of bits is given as 6, it is 6 by 2 which is equal to 3. So there will be 3 cells present here. So cell 1, cell 2 and cell 3. Cell 1 you have to represent it like this: A0, B0, S0, C in, and it will be generating the carry output as C0. Cell 2 also you will be representing it like this itself, but with the next bit A1, B1, sum is S1, carry input will be the carry output generated from the first cell, that is C0. So C0 will be applied over here and it will be yielding the output as C1. Cell 3, because 3 number of cells I got in each block, so cell 3 also I will be representing it like this itself, but it will be in terms of A2, B2, S2, the carry input from the previous stage, that is C1, and carry output of this current stage, it will be again C2. So always your first block is reserved for a ripple carry adder cell. Whatever may be the remaining blocks, say here I have marked it as block M. So in this particular case, if I have given you as 2 number of blocks, so obviously it will be having block 1 and block 2. So block 1 will be reserved for carry ripple adder and block 2 will be comprising of your carry select adder. So here you can see only the first block is reserved for ripple carry adder element. All other remaining blocks will be reserved for your carry select adder. Select, it means that you are going to use a particular component which is going to perform the selection operation. So the operation of selection can be performed by using a component of multiplexer, because there will be a selection input which is providing you to choose an option of either equal to logical 0 state or logical 1 state depending upon your application, and it will be choosing certain set of inputs and it will be yielding the output accordingly. So carry select adder means it will be having an adder element along with the multiplexer component, whereas carry ripple adder means it is having only an adder element. So here if you see, when I am supposed to replace all these additional blocks apart from block 1, that is the first block, I have to use carry select adder element. I have to make sure that I have used the structure something like this. So it is having an adder cell which is having 2 options. So this will be the operand A, operand B, and these will be the carry inputs, and according to the carry inputs, whether it is equal to 0 or whether equal to 1, it will be generating me 2 outputs. The sum output can be either equal to 1 or 0. So accordingly it will be choosing what is the carry output from the previous block. So depending upon the previous block carry output, it will be selecting the exact output, whether it has to be taken from 1 or taken from 0. Suppose the previous block carry output was equal to 0 state, then accordingly it will choose the output from here. If the previous block carry output was equal to logical 1 state, then it will be choosing the sum output from this particular input of 1. And again it will be generating the outputs, carry output, which will be either equal to a logical 0 state or logical 1 state, and accordingly it will be fed to the number of different stages of this particular cell. How many number of bits or how many number of blocks are present, depending upon that it is going to vary. So this is the representation of a carry select adder, wherein it is accepting A and B, and it is having a provision because it need not wait unless and until the previous carry output is getting generated. So I will be explaining you in detail in the next example. And it can have an option of providing the carry input as equal to 0 as well as 1. So simultaneously it will be calculating the outputs. So depending upon the multiplexer, whether the previous input was equal to 0 state or 1 state, accordingly it will be yielding me the output of sum. So this is the representation or the general structure of a carry select adder. So one by one we will see by considering certain examples depending upon the number of bits or number of blocks, so that it will be further more clear for you. So in this slide you have to remember that whenever a carry select adder is asked, so whatever may be the number of blocks I am going to obtain, in that always the first block is reserved for a ripple carry adder, which is represented like this depending upon how many number of cells I want. If there are 2 cells, I want 2 blocks of this kind. If there are 3 cells, I want 3 blocks of this kind. Same way, the rest of the block apart from block 1 will be using a carry select adder concept, wherein how many number of cells are present, that many times I have to use this particular block for carry select adder, that is AB, considering the carry input either as equal to 0 state or 1 state. Then accordingly I will be using the multiplexer. The selection input for this multiplexer will be the previous block carry output. Say from block 2, if I am considering this particular cell, previous block carry output, if there are 3 cells, then the third carry output, that is C0, C1, C2 will be the main block carry output. So that will be the previous block carry output for this particular element, which will be behaving like a selection input. So this is what you are supposed to remember. Suppose if I am having block 3 also present in my circuit, then block 3, whatever the output is generated from block 2. So depending upon the number of bits, whatever the carry output is generated at the end of the block 2, that will be the behaving like a carry input for all, that is the selection input for all the cells of this particular multiplexer. So let me see one example. So this is the first example which I have considered for the design of a carry select adder, that is given with the number of blocks, that is m value is equal to 3 and the number of bits in the design is 6. So here we are known with the value of m and n, and the unknown parameter over here is the number of cells, which is represented in terms of p. So from the previous slide I have told you that the equation to calculate the number of cells in terms of blocks as well as bits is nothing but n divided by m. Here n is nothing but 6 and m value is 3. So 6 divided by 3, we will get the value as equal to 2. So I am sure that I need to design a 6-bit carry select adder. So this entire block, rectangular block, again this is not mandatory to draw in your exam. In your exam you are supposed to draw only this particular diagram. So this is just for your reference, the layout how it will exactly look like. So this represents, the outer block represents the entire structure of a 6-bit carry select adder cell, and from this particular question I am known that the value of m is equal to 3. So I have considered 3 blocks, that is block 1, block 2 and block 3. And from the computed value of p, we got the value as equal to 2, which is nothing but for each and every individual block there are 2 number of cells. So in each block there is cell 1 and cell 2. So 2 cells are present in each and every individual block. So this is how it will appear like. And now I am known that whenever I am having distinct number of blocks, the first block, that is the right side block, is always reserved for a carry ripple adder cell. So this block represents ripple carry adder, wherein I am having 2 cells. So 2 blocks I have to use. In terms of cells, if I tell, it is nothing but 2 bits. So 2-bit representation will be in terms of block 1, which is nothing but the representation as carry ripple adder. So if you see this represents block 1. So this is block 1 representation. So this is your block 1 and this is block 2 and finally this is block 3. So if you look into this particular representation, if I want to make a comparison between the given structure as well as this particular diagram, it is nothing but this entire dotted structure which is shown in the dotted blocks everywhere. 3 dotted blocks I have shown. So each and every individual dotted block represents a particular block in this. So the right side block, it is nothing but first block, block 1. So the middle one is block 2 and last one it is block 3. So these are the distinct blocks present here. So now we will see one by one how to draw in terms of representation. So as you already know now, block 1 is reserved for ripple carry adder cell. So ripple carry adder cell is represented with the normal adder block, wherein I am going to apply the input in terms of operand A as well as operand B. Since each block is having two cells, which means that this is one bit, this is another bit. So in total I am having 6 bit over here. So for, this is A0 B0, A1 B1, A2 B2, A3 B3, A4 B4 and A5 B5. So in total I am having 6 bits. So in block 1 I will be having A0 B0 in cell 1. So this is your cell 1 representation. This is cell 2 representation of block 1. So it is a ripple carry adder cell. So simple adder block with the input A0 and B0. So this represents cell 1, wherein I am going to apply the main carry input as Cin. It will generate and give me the sum output as S0 and carry output as C0. Again, block 1 is having the second cell, which is also requiring the representation in terms of ripple carry adder itself. So again it is a replica of this, just change the operand in terms of A1 and B1. So this is the second bit. So it will generate the sum output as S1 and the carry output as C1. So two cells are done with ripple carry adder. So this is done with block 1. Next, coming to block 2 and block 3. So block 2 and block 3 both will be the representation in terms of carry select adder. Carry select adder means there should be a presence of 2:1 multiplexer. So I am having 2:1 multiplexer here onwards. So cell 1 is represented like this. I have stopped till A1 B1 in the previous block. So obviously the next continued operand will be in terms of A2 as well as B2. So if you see here, this adder block is having an option to apply carry input signal either as equal to 0 state or 1 state, which means that this particular operation till here, it is not at all waiting with reference to your previous blocks or previous carry outputs. So directly it is going to perform an addition operation considering 0 as the carry input, also considering 1 as the carry input. So obviously it will be having A2, B2 and carry input either in terms of logical 0 state or logical 1 state for both 0 and 1, and considering the value of A2 and B2, it will perform the addition operation and it will generate the sum bits. I am not sure whether the sum is equal to logical 0 state or logical 1 state, because I am sure about the operand A2 and B2 what has to be applied, but I am not sure about the carry input that is being applied to this particular block. It can be either equal to 0 state or it can be equal to a logical 1 state. So depending upon that, since I am having computed values for both carry input considered as 0 and 1, so obviously there will be two sum bits. Like for generation of carry input as equal to 0, there will be one sum bit generated. For the carry input considered as equal to logical 1, there will be one more sum bit generated. To know the exact value of sum, whether it is equal to 0 state or 1 state, it has to depend upon the previous carry output. So for this particular block, that is block 2, whatever the control signal you are going to apply for a multiplexer, that is the selection inputs we call it as. So in case of your 2:1 multiplexer, these two we call it as the data inputs. It can be either equal to a logical 0 state or logical 1 state. Since it's a 2:1 mux, it will be having two inputs and one output, and it will be having one selection input. So this particular selection input, which is going to control your multiplexer, that is being depending upon your previous carry output generated from the block. So this is the end of block 1. So end of block 1, the carry output generated is nothing but carry output C1. So for this entire block, that is block 2, the selection input or the control signal for your multiplexer will be depending upon the value of your C1. So the mux 2:1 mux, all the 2:1 mux which are corresponding to second block are controlled by the main carry output from your block 1, that is C1. All the 2:1 multiplexers are controlled by, that is in case of your block 3, are controlled by the carry output generated from the block 2. So for block 2, the final carry output generated is C3. So this C3 will be behaving like a control signal for all your 2:1 multiplexer in block 3. So similarly, if there was block 4, C5 is your final carry output which is generated from block 3, which will be behaving like a control signal for all the multiplexers which will be provided to the block 4. So it will go on continuing like that. So now coming to this particular block, I am having 2:1 multiplexer. I am having a control signal applied to a 2:1 multiplexer from the carry output generated from the block 1, that is C1. Now it will be generating me the exact output, that is some S2. Then it will generate the carry output. So carry output, once again it is not going to wait whether it is exactly equal to 0 state or 1 state. So it will assume once the value was equal to 0, another time the value was equal to 1, and for both the cases it will compute and give us the sum output. And again, in order to generate the exact sum output, it should be provided with the 2:1 multiplexer, for which we are having a control signal provided from the carry output generated from the previous block. So this is 2:1 multiplexer, and sum S3 will be your exact sum output, and it will be generating the carry output. So now two cells are finished for block 2. This is one cell, this is another cell. So this has to generate me the final carry output, right? So these two will be the final carry output signals, which is nothing but in terms of C3. But that C3 will be behaving like a control signal for all the multiplexer from the block 3. So now I want to generate exact carry output also, because it has to be provided in terms of either 0 state or 1 state. It cannot be assumed like it can be either 0 or it can be either logical 1 state. It has to be an exact value. For that purpose, I have to find out what is the exact value of the carry output. So in turn, I am using one more additional 2:1 multiplexer for the generation of the carry output from the block. So remember, only for the generation of the carry output from the block, that is the final carry output of the particular block, you are going to add a 2:1 multiplexer. Here also it is going to generate a carry output, but it is not the end of block. See, cell 1 is having still one more cell, that is continued with cell 2 also. For that purpose, you are not going to use any sort of 2:1 multiplexer for this particular carry output. So only at the end of the block you are using the multiplexer 2:1. Here also at the end of the block, for the generation of the carry output from that particular block, you are using 2:1 multiplexer. So this is your second block. For all those things, the control signal is nothing but the carry output C1, which is the final carry output of block 1. Next, coming to block 3. Again it is having two cells. So I am having two adder cells over here once again, which is the representation in terms of carry select adder itself. So I am having 2:1 multiplexer, which is nothing but providing the operation of carry select adder. Again, it can take the assumption of carry input as 0 or 1, and it can generate the sum outputs. So in order to predict which is the exact sum output, I want a 2:1 multiplexer placed over here, for which the control signal will be from the carry output generated from second block. So carry output generated from second block, the final carry output is C3, which is behaving like a control signal. So control signal for the 2:1 multiplexer used in this is nothing but from the carry output C3. So you can see all the connections for control signal of 2:1 mux goes from C3 output. So now I am having some S4 generated, and the carry output C4 is generated over here. This is not the main carry output which I need, so I am not using any sort of multiplexer for this. Next, I will cascade it with one more carry select adder cell, for which I am applying the final operand in terms of A5 and B5. So again it will be calculating me the sum in terms of either 0 or 1 applied as carry input, and it will be giving me two outputs in terms of either logical 0 state or logical 1 state. To know which one is the correct sum output, I have to make use of a 2:1 multiplexer, for which once again the control signal is taken from the carry output of block 2, that is C3, and it will generate some S5, and it will generate the carry output C5. So now C5 is end. So cell 2 is not having further cells added over here. So cell 2 is the end of block 3. So for that purpose, I have to cascade it with the 2:1 multiplexer in order to generate the carry output, main carry output from the entire block, that is C5. So for this, again the control signal is taken from the previous carry output of the block, that is C3. So this is your representation of a 6-bit carry select adder cell. So hope you understood how to draw this particular diagram. So if you remember this particular logic, each and every individual cells you are going to replace either it with the ripple carry adder, depending upon whether it is block 1 or not. Only block 1 is ripple carry adder cell, rest all blocks will be carry select adder itself. if I want to calculate what is the total computation time for this particular type of cell, that is carry select adder element, I am supposed to concentrate on all the terms like your m number of blocks, n number of bits, and p the number of cells. Since you have two combinations over here, that is carry ripple adder as well as carry select adder, so I am having delay in terms of, that is propagation delay in terms of both adder cell as well as if I talk about carry select adder, there will be delay due to the multiplexer. You have seen in this particular case, that is in terms of carry select adder, if I want to know the advantage when compared with the previous one, that is carry ripple adder, here only these two cells which are behaving like your normal adder cells or carry ripple adder wherein I have used, only these cells are going to depend upon the previous carry output. See, this C0, when it has to get generated, scene has to be properly applied with the input of operand A0 as well as B0, then it will generate C0. Unless and until the C0 is getting generated, you cannot expect the output C1 as well as S1. So everything is interdependent from the previous block. So now if I want to calculate this, so it is a 6-bit adder cell. So if I want to calculate, only 2 adder cells over here, out of 6, only 2 adder cells are having a delay. So what I can tell is, if I am assuming an adder cell is having a delay of say k1 nanoseconds, since there are 2 bits, so there will be 2k1 delay. Total computation time will be in terms of 2 into k1. It depends upon how many number of cells. So now only 2 cells were present, so it is 2k1. If 3 cells are present, it is 3k1. If 4 cells are present, it will be 4 into k1. So now I am concentrating upon general parameter of p number of cells. So it is p into k1, where p is the number of cells and k1 is the delay due to an adder cell, plus the rest all blocks, whatever I am having, it is having the presence of a multiplexer. Here there won't be any sort of delay, since it is going to calculate simultaneously. Once I am applying with either 0 or 1 state, all these will be calculated simultaneously. And if I am obtaining a C1 output, all some S2, S3 and C3 will be generated simultaneously, because it is in turn depending upon your C1 output for or which is in turn applied to a control signal of your 2:1 multiplexer. So if I want to talk about a delay over here, it is nothing but delay due to a multiplexer. So how many number of blocks are there? Those many number of blocks minus 1, because first block will always be reserved for your carry ripple adder, which is not having the presence of any sort of multiplexer. So for only the multiplexer are being provided after block 2. Right, so now it is having 2 blocks, so it is 2 into k2, where k2 stands for the multiplexer delay. In general, if I want to speak about the multiplexer delay, it will be m minus 1 into k2, because m will be the total number of blocks, out of which the first block will be reserved for carry ripple adder cell, which is not having the presence of any sort of multiplexer. So obviously it is m minus 1. So all the remaining blocks will be having a multiplexer delay. So in total, if I want to calculate the computation time for a carry select adder cell, it is the propagation delay caused due to an adder cell plus the propagation delay caused due to a multiplexer. So propagation delay caused due to an adder cell is depending upon the number of cells, which is pk1, and propagation delay which is caused due to the multiplexer is depending upon the number of blocks, which is m minus 1 into k2. Here p represents number of cells, m represents number of blocks, k1 represents the adder cell delay, and k2 represents the delay due to multiplexer. If I want to calculate what is the minimum amount of computation time, then I have to just differentiate this particular t with respect to m. So depending upon the number of blocks, I have to differentiate, that is dt by dm, and if I equate it to a value of 0, I will be getting what is the relationship between the number of cells and the number of bits and number of blocks for a minimum computation time. So this will be helpful in solving some problems. So in exam they may ask you some problems relevant to this. They may ask you to calculate the number of cells, or they may ask you to calculate the number of blocks, or in other terms they may also ask you to calculate what is the minimum value of t, so that you have to calculate what is the number of blocks depending upon your k1 and k2. K1 and k2 value may be provided in your question, or you may be asked to calculate what is an adder cell delay or a multiplex cell delay depending upon the other parameters known. So you can make use of any of these equations whenever the problem is asked pertaining to carry select adder. So now if I want to determine the minimum value of t, so differentiate this computation time with respect to the number of blocks, that is m, and equate it to 0. So I am just writing the value of p in terms of number of blocks so that it will be easy for me to differentiate with respect to m. So p can be written as equal to n by m. So just I have replaced this p by n by m into k1 plus m minus 1 into k2. Now what is dt by dm? So dt by dm can be written as equal to, so nk1 will be the constant over here, so nk1 into minus 1 by m square it is. So in the differentiation of 1 by m is nothing but minus 1 by m square. So that's why I have written it as minus nk1 divided by m square plus m minus 1 into k2, or it can be written as mk2 minus k2, where k2 is constant, so differentiation of minus k2 is nothing but 0 itself. mk2 means differentiation of m is 1, so it will be nothing but k2. So mk2 differentiation will be k2. So equate it to 0. You will be getting the equation for m square. So just cross multiply this equation. Minus nk1 by m square is equal to minus k2. So minus and minus term will get cancelled. So m square can be written as equal to nk1 divided by k2. In other terms, I can write the m value as equal to square root of nk1 divided by k2. This gives me the relationship between the number of blocks and number of bits whenever I am asked to calculate in terms of a minimum computation time. So hope you understood this. So in the next example we will try to design the other number of bits or same number of bits with distinct number of blocks, something like that. So this is the second example which I have chosen. In terms of blocks it is 2, in terms of bits it is 6. So if I want to calculate the number of cells, it is n divided by m, 6 divided by 2, which is equal to 3. So now what does it mean? This outer box, this entire outer box represents the combination of both your ripple carry adder as well as carry select adder. In general, it is a 6-bit representation of carry select adder. Number of blocks is equal to 2, so I have used block 1 and block 2. From the calculated value, the number of cells we got it as 3, so under each block I have to place 3 distinct cells. So for block 1 there are cell 1, cell 2, cell 3. For block 2 there are cell 1, cell 2 and cell 3. So now, so each cell is going to represent a particular bit. So this is A0 A1, sorry A0 B0, A1 B1, A2 B2, A3 B3, A4 B4, A5 B5. So incomplete it will be 6 number of bits. So A0, B0, A1 B1, A2 B2 will be represented in terms of ripple carry adder cell. So here you can see this is block 1 and this represents block 2. So this entire dotted box what you are seeing, it is nothing but the block 1 representation. So you can see 3 cells. So these are the 3 cells. So it's a simple carry ripple adder. So carry ripple adder provided A0 B0 as input, carry input, generate some output as S0, carry output as C0, A1 B1, S1, carry output is C1, A2 B2, then carry input is C1 for this block, S2 and C2 will be the carry outputs generated. Now this particular carry output generated is the carry output generated from block 1, which will be behaving like a control signal for all the multiplexers. See, the control signal for all the multiplexer is taken from the carry output C2 for this particular block 2. So in block 2 I want 3 cells. So first, second, third. So from here if I want to see, this is the first cell and this is the second cell and this is the third cell, final cell, right? So it has to be represented using carry select adder. That's why we have used 2:1 multiplexer over here. So as usual, this is the representation of carry select adder cell. So I have stopped till A2 B2. So continue with the operand A3 B3. Input carry can be equal to logical 0 or logical 1 state. So depending upon that, it will generate two sum outputs. Either it can be equal to logical 0 state or logical 1 state. In order to find out the exact output, apply to a 2:1 multiplexer, for which the control signal is taken from the carry output C2, that is the main output generated from your first block. So now it will generate the sum output as S3 and carry output as C3. This C3 is not the main carry output of the block. So I am not making use of any sort of multiplexer for that particular carry output. Rather than that, I am directly applying it to the cells of A4 and B4. So again, replica of this, perform the operation of addition, choose a appropriate value of a sum depending upon the carry output, that is C2, which is taken as the control signal for 2:1 mux. Sum S4 is generated, carry output C4 is getting generated. Again, this is not the end of the block. Still I have one more cell, that is cell 3. So I am not using any sort of multiplexer for this particular carry output. Rather than that, directly apply that as the carry input for the next stage. Can be either 0 or 1. Then apply to one more carry select adder cell, that is cell 3. So continue with the bits. A4 we have stopped. So this will be A5 and B5. Sum generated. Exact sum if I want to know, apply the control signal from the carry input C2. So it will generate and give me the sum output as S5. Next, it will generate the carry output as C5. Now do I have any other further cells over here? No. So this is the final carry output of this particular block 2. That's why I have to make use of an additional 2:1 multiplexer to determine the exact carry output, whether it is equal to 0 state or 1 state. For that, I have to apply the control signal once again from the carry output generated from block 1, that is C2 will be the control signal for this particular 2:1 multiplexer, which is going to yield the output as C5. Now the propagation delay is mainly depending upon the adder cell as well as the multiplexer. For an adder cell, it is P into K1. So total computation time. So number of cells P is equal to 3 over here. So it is 3 into K1 plus adder cell delay we have calculated, delay due to the multiplexer. So it is depending upon the number of blocks, which is M minus 1 into K2. So M we have the value as 2 here. So 2 minus 1 is nothing but 1. So if you want, I can write it down and explain. So total computation time, we have the equation as the number of cells into K1 plus the number of blocks minus 1 into K2. So here the number of cells, we have it as P value as 3. So it is 3 multiplied with K1 plus M we have it as 2. So it is 2 minus 1, which is equal to 1 into K2. Right? Because M value is given as 2. So hope you understood this, how to calculate the computation time. So the multiplexer delay is only waiting till the C2 output is getting generated. After that, all these can be generated or the operation can be performed simultaneously. So adder cell delay, obviously it will be 3 into K1, where K1 is nothing but the adder cell delay and K2 is nothing but the multiplexer delay. So this is how you are going to design for this particular example. So last one more example we will see, and we will wind up with the concept of carry select adder, and you can try with the different examples or the question paper problems, which will give you an idea how the questions will be asked, so that it will be still clear for you with certain examples. So this is the third and last example which I have taken for the considered for the carry select adder. So number of blocks I have considered it as 2 and number of bits I have considered them as 8. So if I want to calculate the number of cells now, it is equal to n divided by m. So it is 8 by 2, which is equal to 4. So in each and every individual block, there must be 4 number of cells, which is nothing but 4 bits. So if you see this, the outer box is going to represent your entire 8-bit structure. So this is your entire 8-bit structure. So now I am having 2 blocks present. So I have named it as block 1 and this as block 2. Inside each and every individual block, there are 4 cells. So I am having cell 1, cell 2, cell 3, cell 4 for block 1, and for block 2 also cell 1, 2, 3 and 4. So each and every individual cell is one particular bit. So obviously it is having 4 bits over here, 4 bits over here. So comprisingly we will be having 8 bit. So A0, B0, A1, B1, A2, B2, A3, B3. Till A3, B3 it will stop over block 1, and continuation of that A4, B4, A5, B5, A6, B6, A7, B7. So it will be in your carry select adder. So this is your block 1, whereas block 2 is nothing but this entire structure. So in this particular example, if you see, so this representation of dotted line, dotted block represents block 1, and the left side this represents the block 2. So if you see here, the first block is always reserved for ripple carry adder. So first block is reserved for ripple carry adder, 4 cells, which means 4 bits. So for 4 bits, A0, B0 till A3, B3, it is a normal carry ripple adder cell, provided main input is carry input is Cin, generates S0, C0. So the second bit generates S1, C1, next it is S2, C2, and finally it is S3, C3. When it comes over cell 4, see, cell 1, cell 2, cell 3 and cell 4. This is the cell 4. Cell 4 is the end of block 1. So now this is the main carry output of block 1, that is C3, which will be behaving like a control signal for all the multiplexers used in the next block, that is block 2. So I have used this as a control signal. If you see here, from the same C3 line, I have applied it to all the multiplexers what I have used. So it is behaving like a control signal for all the multiplexers which we are using in block 2. Now block 2 is reserved for carry select adder. So from block 2 onwards, that is cell 1, which will be in terms of A4, because here we have stopped till A3, B3. Continuation of that will be in terms of A4 and B4. So for A4, B4, A5, B5, A6, B6 and A7, B7, I will be making use of 2:1 multiplexer. So 4 cells are done. This is cell 1, cell 2, cell 3 and cell 4 for your block 2. So this is the end of your block 2. So I have generated all the sum outputs which are sure whether it is equal to logical 0 or logical 1, because I have used a 2:1 mux and I have provided the control signal for that 2:1 mux from the previous carry output generated from the block 1. So now finally it is yielding your sum output S7 and C7. So now C7 is the end of the block 2, right? Cell 4 ends over here. So for that I have to use an additional 2:1 mux and I have to apply to the control signal which is applied from the C3 output of your first block, which is going to yield me the exact carry output C7. So now this is the complete design of your 8-bit carry select adder, which is comprising of 2 blocks and 4 cells. So if I want to calculate the delay for this, since the computation time is given as equal to, once again I am writing the equation, that is P into K1 plus M minus 1 into K2. So P is the number of cells. So number of cells we got it as equal to 4 here, into K1 plus number of blocks we have it as 2. So 2 minus 1, it is equal to 1 into K2. So this will be the total computation time. K1 and K2 can be anything. So K1 can be equal to 1 nanosecond, K2 can be equal to 2 nanosecond. Depending upon that, you are going to calculate what is the exact value of the computation time. So in this manner, you are going to have the design for various number of bits. So hope you understood this concept. So try to practice more number of problems or more number of designs. Depending upon the number of bits, you can choose your own number of bits or number of cells, and you can calculate what is the number of blocks, and you can make a trial and error process, and you can try to design these on your own. If you have understood the main thing, that is this particular concept, how to categorize it into a ripple carry adder cell and carry select adder cell, and if you understand the basic from where you are going to consider the control signal for your 2:1 multiplexer, it is quite simple. So hope you will understand this. Just go through this once. So if you have any doubts, you can just post your comment, or you can just get it confirmed through Google Classroom. And I want you to solve more number of problems, or more number of design problems on these things, because it is a sure question which will be asked in exam. In exam, if they have not mentioned any particular type of number of bits or number of blocks, you can choose your own example and you can explain the concept behind a carry select adder. So hope you understood this concept. In my next presentation, I will be discussing upon the second version of your adder enhancement techniques, wherein I will be concentrating much on again the recalling concept of this particular thing, that is carry select adder. Along with that, I will be discussing two more distinct type of adder elements or adder cells, like your carry skip adder as well as carry look ahead adder cell. Hope you understood this particular concept. Thank you for listening.